There is currently an international beef brewing between Ghana and South Africa. Na obi biara wo nim story we no enra me the report bremo etremo say Ghana ni say South Africa for omo xenophobic match na wo mo ye no anam so ama Ghana ni bi ewu e wo South Africa ho na say internationally no senior Ghana take no South Africa for no say enyo mo de enti no ama adane some international beef between Ghana and South Africa. In fact, yesterday the BBC reported a story no eso. And so I'm going to read the BBC reports and then we are going to go into the technicalities of the whole thing. So basically that's the story. If you are watching for the very first time, ya bogan ni bitio ekuno e South Africa. Yen the foreign minister Okujato Ablakwa, he's not taking it lightly at all. Ni buefu ema wa trust statement na statement na wa troni nsemo awaka no South Africa for ne nso no epese trese Ghana ase yese wo mudin intinama what you say internationally no beef be AC and all that. And then first time wa ha subscribe na click the notification bell on so oya sa latest news bi aba onsa ebekan. This video is kindly sponsored by Corporate Logistica. Corporate Logistica a vehicle management company e wa Ghana ha na ejuma omo ye no very, very, very simple. So our car, especially cars kesiye, cargo vehicle ne ahia car kesiye. Now per se ye juma ma without any stress. Fakane ma Corporate Logistica. Omo abepe driver makano. Omo ankasa be take good care of the car. Omo abe take care of the maintenance of the car. Now wa car ne ye no every single month. Omema waketia 2 times. 05980220033. Oni omo entwetre enkomo. Oyo ba na onim se ne etwisa aka sakesie nso a for Corporate Logistica na omo ne wo enye adwuma. Now yenko eye story no so. O say how the BBC reported the diplomatic role over the killing of a Ghanaian migrant in South Africa. O say the killing of a Ghanaian national during anti-immigration protests in South Africa has heightened diplomatic tensions between the two countries as concerns mount over the safety of foreign nationals amid a resurgence of xenophobic attacks. Also, the victim, a 40-year-old Ghanaian tailor, was reportedly shot dead in Cape Town during the June 30th demonstrations that targeted migrants, prompting widespread condemnation and renewed scrutiny of South Africa's handling of violence against foreign nationals. Also, the government of Ghana has described the incident as unacceptable and demanded a full transparent investigation, urging South African authorities to identify and prosecute those responsible. South Africa, however, has rejected suggestions that the killing has been conclusively established as a xenophobic attack, insisting that investigations are ongoing and cautioning against premature conclusions. And you see, Osha South Africa, and this is one of the reasons in here, for a blaming South Africa for an ankro for person say South Africa for government, no, they are always behind BBC, no. This is one of it. Because Sebonisia, in the name of we have not concluded our investigations, no, Obon say that is always the response from the South African government. Obetesi yesi yekum Malawi. Here, in fact, South Africa for nankasano. Omo tribe ya from the Chonga force at the end, the Chonges. Mambo dini ya mufanje me bamu amo South Africa no munim sa tribe no. Even them, sometimes no, South Africa for attack omo. Tribalism koso wo ho na Zulus for to me kase mo kra no munye South Africa for mun say munye way for because omo nti omo kasa omo attack omo story by ya say omo kokochi sa chonga for young guy bi omo attack no. The South Africans were angry. Omo ye chonga for they were angry. They started doing videos. The CN say government never abonte because investigations and the course on your own train. It has always been the response from South African government. And it is one of the reasons in here yana de biancro eka say the government is part. The government plays a role in Saankwasi Assembly Womudi. They've always found a way, you know, because if you study the security agencies, the only way a security agencies almost try every single time to lay off some fire on them, and they say we are still investigating. Now when you say we are still investigating, I won't. Even after 10 years, still Obeka say we are still investigating. Asem ne wu no. Inti Ghanaian ni ewu 40-year-old Ghanaian wa ye tailor of South Africa. We South Africa for some more can say, oh, you investigate, mamon konko can sem nansa. Muntumobo, mamon can say, protest in a kum Ghanaian, Mudia Muntumobo, ye investigation. Ubon say, yeti ha, o me baba catch and say, investigation now or more ye na crano. When say, entokwebi Ghanaian no ni obi na nya asem ena ne bakonuko boneti okuno ana robbery na course na ubon so me baba kasa ansem na treye. Me say wo mpenyin for no mo support sa ade we ya wo moye, because yin na yenim if they don't support there is no way South Africa for be yes ade. Inti ama, you know, there is an diplomatic, you know, beef brewing. Yenhwe BBC for us. BBC, this is how BBC reported it. Also, a diplomatic row has erupted between South Africa and Ghana over claims that a Ghanaian man was killed during anti-migrant protest, which South African officials deny. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Ministry said it had received with profound shock reports that Bashiru Isaac, 40, had been shot dead on Tuesday in Cape Town, in Khayelitsha Township. It said it has sent a formal protest note and filed a complaint with the police. South Africa's Justice Minister responded by expressing concern that Ghanaian authorities continue to communicate false information about South Africa regarding developments on irregular migration. In South Africa for Ghana for the this is South African government too. Minister. As the Ghana for the debia Ghana ni wuna. Ghana no. As the Ghana for the debia mucha. That is their response. Singrofo we pa. Ghana for yan tromu bibi pa o. Yan tromu bibi pa na dresse. No. Also, the police said they had no record of the Khayelitsha murder. They did say they were investigating the killing a day earlier of 35-year-old Ghanaian Kwabena Boaji, allegedly in extortion-linked crime in a different Cape Town township, Nyanga. Omusio Ghana nipa na yesi wewu ewo krono mo kan de omu nim hwe de omu nim ne se Ghana ni fufuro bi a wedi 35 mum ena wewu okro fufuro so a sa Ghana ni na wedi 35 no eno ye armed robbers ena kokko robin no. Intitia say South African police said Boachi lived in Khayelitsha area but worked in Nyanga where the crime occurred. It said a postmortem was being done in line with its protocols. The police had earlier told the BBC that suspects allegedly entered the barber shop where Boachi was working and demanded money from him before he was shot. The suspects fled the scene, and so far no arrests have been made. In the South Africa for story or more canon, so Ghana ni bi eno ye juma barber shop ena ngrofo akwa robin no mo abonitu. It was referring to the statement by Ghanaian authorities. The police said an earnest plea is made to the authorities in question to provide details of the Khayelitsha incident to the police in order for the matter to be probed further. Into almost South Africa for na catch Ghana for say yen yes you before fro na we would dia and yen find information ni mo no mo nya investigations in fa ho. No mo de omu nim no enye de yen ye keka kra. So see Tuesday was the unofficial deadline set by South African anti-migrant groups for all undocumented foreigners to leave the country, with thousands marching across main cities. And so the story goes on, it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. But you know, at this point, I think say Ghana we should be using all the you know, the processes available to us, international diplomatic processes available to us, to make sure say yes, they have to pay.